Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Chair Yoga. We're going to begin our transitional process by sitting up tall and using three-part breathing, if you can remember that. Three-part breathing. So I have always encouraged a kind of very different way of breathing, some significant kind of pranayama that takes lots of mindfulness, lots of attention to what you're doing. Rather than just taking deep breaths in and out, I kind of favor using something specific so that you have to really engage in the experience. So that's my idea. Three-part breathing is taking three kind of sniffs or huffs or however, breathing in again, breathing in again, and then exhaling out. This time, though, try it this way. That is the one you've been most accustomed to. And I've a lot of times shown you the way up the body, like, as you're breathing in, you feel it in the low belly, and then you get to the diaphragm, and then you get into the upper chest. That is the idea, that the breath is kind of climbing that with three steps. You don't need to use your hands, but you're welcome to, obviously. But here's what's going to be different, just to check this out, see how it works with you. Inhale more, inhale even more, take a bit of a pause, but then the exhale also steps out. Exhale. So I do it like, I blow it out my mouth in three steps. The inhale, mostly from your nose, but see what you can do. However, it just naturally arises for you. Take that pause and let the breath go out like a blowing it out. Okay, let's get started. Find that big breath in through the low belly, even more, hold it, blow it out in three steps. Keep going. Just find your rhythm. You don't need to watch me. You're just finding your rhythm of breath. 3 breaths in, hold it a bit, and let it come out in 3 steps, just like you came in. Keep going. Remember, you don't need to keep up with me. That's why I really don't want you to watch me. It's not necessary at all to match my timing. Keep going. Eyes closed. That'd be the best idea, right? Eyes closed, then you're not tempted. One more. Blow it out in 3 steps. Keep your eyes closed and just wait. Palms open on your lap, eyes closed. Just wait and let your breath return to its normal rhythm. Soften your mouth. Make sure there's no tension in your facial muscles. And notice the natural rhythm of your breath now that you've created immediately as we practiced together this morning, more space for your lungs. And engaged, your diaphragm more intentionally. All of that's good breath work. Open palms now. That mudra of receptivity, reminding yourself that you are here to receive. Push your feet to the floor. I hope you have your block between your thighs. If you don't mess up. I shouldn't say, don't change gears. Just skip it for now. But block is between your thighs. You're squeezing that, pushing your feet to the floor. And then sit up real tall. You're lifting your chest cavity, and you can feel how it lengthens your spine when you do that. Use the image of a wall behind you so that you can pull yourself upright. In other words, I want you to make sure that your shoulders, your whole shoulder girdle is aligned with your hips. They stack. And sometimes that takes a little pull back because we have a habit, many of us, of leaning forward a little bit. So let's align ourselves with this imaginary wall. Make sure the back of the head is touching that wall. And that's going to keep your spine in better alignment and your shoulders right above your hips. Keep noticing the breath in its natural rhythm. And by noticing the breath, you will deepen it. You don't even have to consciously choose to deepen it. By the very virtue of the fact that you are noticing your breathing, it will deepen. Eyes are closed gives us an opportunity to really come within, deep within. How are you doing inside of you? Shifting your awareness to the inside view, how it feels from inside. I'm going to begin sharing what I often am saying or reciting to myself, and that is, may what needs to be said is said. May what needs to be heard is heard. What needs to be released is released. And may what needs to be embraced is embraced in today's practice. Setting your intention now. Noticing the rhythm of your breath, the natural rhythm of your breath as you come into that self-inquiry. And so it is. We exhale out. Let's open the eyes, lift up now. Palms will come together as we lift up to look up. Exhale, bowing at your heart. Inhale up, and exhale, take a big sweeping action all the way down. I'm going to move now. If you hadn't gotten your block in place, now's the time we're all going to do that. Join in. Squeeze that block between the thighs. And make sure that it helps you align your feet. So your knees and your ankles and feet, they are in alignment. So you've kind of created a right angle here. Sit up nice and tall. Let's begin with some movements of the arms, lifting up and then bringing them in with fists, kind of making a fist to pull back. So the arms, the hands are just open, and then we close them into a fist and come down. This can be done in a fairly quick motion, but you find your rhythm. I like inhale and exhale down. You see what works best for you, and the pace is up to you. Keeping your arms as close to your body as you can. Especially as you lift up, you can feel that your arms are really close to your head. Lift up, hands are open, and then fists come down. So you're really, you can feel how you fired up the biceps. Keep going. Now, a new pattern, just to help our mind-body connection kind of stay fine-tuned. Just change the direction of movement to single arms and no more fisting up. Just inhale, switch to the other arm, exhale. That's a good way to do it. But again, your pattern that works well. Trying to keep that arm as it extends up as close to your head as you can. Hand is open. Feel your feet to the ground so you feel the foundational support of your body. You're very connected to the chair. You're not going anywhere. Couple more. Vinyasa, so we're connecting breath to movement. Let's get both arms alongside the frame of the chair. Turn your palms in and let's move into the cow-cat vinyasa. So arms are sliding back. That's going to let your chest come forward. You're arching the back body. Keep your head level so you're not lifting your chin, but it's a very distinct arch of the back, and hopefully you're feeling your shoulder blades moving towards center. And that if right now you're thinking not much, it's not much, but it'll get there. So just that's your intention. You're pulling into a nice arched back. So we're patterning ourselves so our body knows what we're looking for. Breathing in and out, of course. And then let's switch to the cat pose with where our hands grab hold of the kneecaps. Shoulders will remain right above your hips, which is perfect. And then draw your belly in. Now, this one is where I want you to really use the Bandha breathing, that Bandha pathway. When you're rounding your back body and coming into that roundness, I want you to Squeeze the block and pull in at your belly button. Hold that as long as you can and then soften to release. Let's just hold it. Stay in the C-shaped curve. Hold it now and just work on that so you can access that bandha pathway readily. You're familiar with it. The squeeze of the block for me is a nice reminder, pulling in through those inner thighs into the inner groin. And then, of course, you're in the perineum, the floor of the pelvis. And that even gives you deeper connection to that very core strength that the bandha pathway creates. All right, here we go. This is going to be our vinyasa now. Cow pose is the inhale. Cat pose is the exhale, where we use that bandha. Take your time with this. You might think that, there seem like there's a lot to do. You'll get familiar with it very quickly. So familiar, we've always done this. So just connecting to that new awareness of really intentionally firing up that perineum. Remember, the pace of this is your pace. It's how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes to exhale completely. Keep going. Really moving the spine. And you can feel the shift in your belly wall, right? It changes quite a bit. This is the tried and true ways to warm up the body so we get started and our body's ready to go. Two more. Go through them 2 more times. You can do it. And come back up. Let's lift those arms up real close to the head. Inhale looks like that. Exhale is the bent elbows like W shape. And we're going to open the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, open up that heart. And you notice how your shoulder blades are moving? That's all good. Last time. We're going to inhale up. Open up the heart with that W shape. And then release your arms alongside the frame of the chair. And you're in a neutral position. So any movement your body needs, any kind of motion your body needs as a reset, you can just feel it right away, like, oh boy. And then just address that. Whether I've said something about it or not, you do it. You pay attention to what your body's asking for. Let's hold on to the chair. Get your hands way back into the back of the chair so you feel like it's helping you open up right here and get your shoulders back. And then I want you to see about tilting back so you can lift those legs up with the block in between your legs. So you're going to squeeze and lift up. So we're going to be using that belly. It's like doing a crunch. Remember sit-ups? It's doing that kind of action. The chair, holding on to the chair. Now, if the way I directed it doesn't match with you, you won't know I'm going to hold it right here. No, that doesn't make any sense. Again, you follow your body's lead. See if you can find a rhythm that is allowing you to breathe in a way that's very useful for you. The breath is helping you. I'd say inhale with nothing to do, exhale while you've got everything to do. One more. Nice job. Hold it. See if you can hold it. Can you release your arms like wings might do? Hold that. And just get everything back to center. Nice job. Let's get that head and neck moving. So I just want you to use something exploratory here. I'm circling around, turning one way and the other. You do anything that gives you the same sort of stretch and access to how does your neck feel today? What kind of range of movement are you experiencing? So you'll know. You can, take it easy or offer yourself some challenge. Let's lose the block and instead grab hold now of your towel or your cloth, washcloth. And I hold it in its diagonal space. So I want as much length there as I can. Get a hold of it on its one end and let that flip back behind you. An elbow now is bent and you've got that arm real close to the head. Scoop that other hand around behind you. So now got it. You got a hold of that cloth behind you. Lift up. We're going to do several of these where we alternate. We switch that towel into the other hand. We got to find it over here. We breathe, we hold it, and we're just going to keep going. Again, you don't need to do it when I do it necessarily. You're getting yourself set up and moving through this. I'm kind of wondering why I said lose the block between your legs. I think it would be useful. So if you want to take the time to get that back, I get it. Remember to switch the cloth to the other hand, so then you'll be all set for the other side to do the same stretch. Keep your head upright and neutral. So you're just very upright and your arms are doing all the movement, and it's wonderful for your back and your shoulder blades, the movement through your whole shoulder girdle. Keep going. Set it up, take a breath. So you really feel it. Remember, if we don't connect our breath to these things, it doesn't really take all the effort we got to, we use to get into it and try to hold that. If we never gave our breath to it, the body won't acknowledge it. It won't have registered, if you will. So we got to get the breath associated with what we've created. This be our last go around. So you just make sure you're even up. You've done it the same number of times on each side. Great. And then let's get that cloth out in front of us and it's full and it's nice and taut. Lift that up, bend those elbows, bring it behind your head. And I know it's tempting to duck your head, but see if you can do this without ducking the head. You're letting your arms do the moving for you. Inhale up, exhale, bending those elbows. Does this look familiar? It's kind of that W shape. Last time, inhale up, and let's hold it then. And just a little tick-tock. Keep it nice and tight. Just a tick-tock side to side. Oh, for sure, I want that block. Sorry, didn't think of that. This is better for me anyway. So I want to squeeze that block so I feel really connected and have a nice foundational support to do this upper body bending side to side. Let's hold it now. Just get into whatever side you are. Hold that. Feel it in your neck. Remember how to align your head by way of your ears. Play with this a little bit. Where you feel the sensation, what kind of adjustments you could see. You can feel it right away. Oh, I'm gonna pull my head back a little bit, or whatever it might be. And then we'll go to the other side. Take your time with it. And it's a side bend that we're gonna hold. Breathe into it. Don't hold your breath. Nice taut, a nice tight hold of the cloth. Exhale completely. That is so important. Wonderful. Let's come back all the way up and around. And I'm just going to lose that cloth. I think I'm just going to toss it off to the side. Now, any reset your body needs. And deepen your breath so you feel very caught up with your breathing. Again, we're going to do those crunches. So we're going to hold on to the chair, tilt back, and lift the feet up while we're squeezing the block. Inhale, exhale when you're coming into that lift. Let's hold this one. Hold it, squeeze. Again, spread your arms like wings might do, or not. So if you decide, well, no, that's not in the cards for me, then you'll just hold the chair and continue. Okay, bring those legs back down. And again, any movement your body needs. I'm going to move that block underneath. Let's take a wider angle now. Open up your feet, heels in and toes out. We'll circle that out. To remember the Bandha path I taught you includes the Jaladhara Bandha, which is your throat. So when you pull your chin in towards your throat, that's kind of like it's kind of like you're stabilizing the neck and head and the movement here. So kind of pull your chin in as you're moving around. It's not a major efforting. It's just, this awareness that you're kind of pulling your chin in towards your throat. So you stabilize your neck. If you haven't yet done it, let's change the direction of the circle. Beautiful. Let's come back to center and extend your arms out like a T, but press out like you're trying to push your hands against the walls on either side of you. So fingers are raised up. Spread your fingers apart and notice how much sensation there is in that. Simple action, right? It's very simple, but boy, there's a lot of sensation in the wrists and the hands, in the arms. Push. Get strong with your belly wall. Can you kind of access, even with your legs in this wide straddle, can you access the perineum to lift up towards your belly button? And you just hold it that way. You're just going to stabilize by just keeping it held in that way. It's just a little bit, but it's very powerful. Now flip your hands so the hands are open, thumbs pointing behind you. And maybe it's not quite so much attention to that bandha. And now we're going to turn our head to look at one side. Keep breathing. Notice what you're feeling and breathe right into where you can feel the sensation in your neck. Exhale completely. Let's come back to center and then we'll go to the other side. This is the side I could park in for a long time. So I'm going to feel that, breathe all the way through my breath cycle. Any little movements that your body just naturally wants to do, you follow that lead. Bring your head back to neutral, palms will come together, look up. Exhale, bow. Inhale up and exhale, come all the way down and around and get your hands underneath your thighs so you can kind of lift up. You can use your hands to guide that thigh up. And if you're thinking, well, I've always done this without holding onto my thighs, well, then grab your chair and lift up. Maybe like you're trying to kick, but the knee stays bent. It's not going to straighten out the leg, not yet. So you notice when you go from one side to the other, your body naturally sort of turns. I want you to encourage that. Don't try to discourage it. Just try to let that natural rhythm and how you sort of turn your body toward the knee that's coming up, let that be. Notice how the breath is. Get nice and strong with it. It might be louder. You might be using that ujjayi breath. That's that ha sound of the breath. Whatever leg you're on, let's hold that up. I encourage you to get a hold of the underside of your thigh and let's circle the foot around. Spread your toes. So you're kind of anchored in. That leg that's up in the air is what's keeping you stable. So you're not going to fall back into the chair. Now right here, straighten that out and then bend it again. So it's a straight leg and a bent knee. Keep breathing nice and strong. Bent knee brings that foot back to the floor. We're going to switch to the other side. So we hold it up, get it nice and high, hold on to the underside of your thigh, start spinning your foot around. Wake up your ankles, move the toes. Nice strong breath. You don't need to look at the screen. Pay attention to what's going on for you. And then we're going to straighten that leg and bend the knee. Straighten and bend. Find that rhythm. bent knee brings us back down. Now find your right alignment. You're not leaning into the backrest. You feel nice and strong. You can almost imagine that you're leaning right into that imaginary wall. 3-part breath. Inhale, 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 pause, blow it out, 3 parts. Make sure it's completely expelled before you go back for your inhale, 3 of them. So it's a really full breath in, and then let that breath come out in 3 parts as well. One more round like that. And let's grab hold of our chair. Eyes are open in case you happen to close your eyes while you were doing that. Let's keep the legs a little bit closer together, but they're still not hips distance. They're not quite there, just somewhere inside the frame of the chair. I'm going to encourage you now to try this. It's not for everybody, and it's not for everybody's chair. So some people who are using a chair that you're not feeling quite as secure, but it's a slide forward, a bend down, and come back. So I hardly leave the surface of the chair. I slide forward, I glaze myself down and come back up. So I'm kind of in contact with some part of the chair the whole time, but it gives me an ability to let my arms do some work. The triceps are doing some work, as well as strengthening the legs to help your body come up and down. If this isn't working, if you know, no, I can't do it on my chair, go back to the movements like this, where you're just getting your legs up. That's going to still give you some nice support. A couple more, using your triceps if you can. And let's come back to our neutral position, right on the chair like we are used to. I want you to circle that out. So maybe your legs open up a little wider. You're circling around. Keep the chin pulled in towards your throat. Change the direction. Let's do a twist before we come to standing. I want you to take your left leg and lift it up and cross all the way over. Let's do that again, just for good practice. Open wide, cross it all the way over. And again, this is where we'll pause for the twist. So you've got your legs bound together, pointing in this direction. Turn your body the other way. Use your arms. Don't hesitate to hold on to your arms, hold on to any part of the chair you can access. So you feel balanced in your pelvis. You feel like your spine is vertical. You're not leaning too much. Those are the kinds of things we're paying attention to as you deepen your twist. Find that full breath coming in and going out. Pay attention to the sensation you're experiencing. Remember, that's the language. That's the language of the body. The sensation matters. You've got to pay attention to that. How's your neck doing? Keep your body in the twist. Turn your head to come out of the twist. Let's breathe some more here. We'll disentangle all of that. Get your legs open wide. When you're ready, maybe you got to do a quick reset. Maybe you got to grab a glass of water, whatever reset you need. You know where we're headed. It's to side 2. Take that step, get it all the way over to cross. And then after you've done it 3 times, at least 3 times, we'll start setting that up. Maybe you're aware that bottom foot needs to be close to the leg of the chair, and you start to turn the other way. So you should be turning the other way from what you had done before. Kind of squeeze your legs. That just gives you more activity. You know, you've turned on some more buttons, more musculature engaged here. Might be very different on this side. So pay attention to what you are experiencing, not what you think you should be or what you expect it to. You know, if you feel a little green light, you know, like all of a sudden you're thinking, well, heck, I feel like I could really turn here, you know, so much more room here. Then go for it. Keep your body in the twist. Turn your head out of it. Breathe some more. Very upright. Feels like you've got really good posture. And then we're going to unwind from that. Get your legs back uncrossed and you've got your wider angle. Let's circle that out. Pull your chin in towards your throat. Let's change the direction. Let's bring our feet together. Feels like hips distance apart. Hey, got an idea? Let's bring that block between our lower legs. And then let's try that. As we get up out of that chair, we're squeezing into the block that is located between our lower legs. Balance your way up. You got to shift your weight, don't you? You got to pull yourself very mindfully out of that chair. So it's easy on your knee joints and you can do it. Let's meet standing up. Feet are straight, squeezing into that block. Let's find mountain pose. That's where the palms face forward. Unlock your knees. And otherwise, you're feeling that imaginary wall behind you showing up. Close your eyes. If you're comfortable with that, close your eyes. Otherwise, if you're not, you know, if you just look at the floor, your eyelids are pretty well closed. You get a similar experience. So you take care of yourself here. And deepen the breath. What needs to be said is said. What needs to be heard is heard. What needs to be released is released. And what needs to be embraced is embraced. Good. Inhale with me. Palms come together up and overhead. Exhale, we're bowing. Inhale up. Exhale, take a sweeping action all the way down. Let's shrug and release. Shrug and release. And some more of that, just moving those shoulders, loosening up. Good. I'm losing the block once again. That's kind of a repeating pattern. And we'll come to the side of the chair. So I've got a hand on the back of the chair. There's some space here. I want you to take the leg that's closest to the backrest. So the outside, let's call this the inside, and this is the outside leg. That's probably backwards. This is the inside. The leg that's closest to the backrest. That leg is going to kind of jump around and come around like that. So that you have to clear the chair. You have to circle your leg high enough that you're clearing the chair. A couple more like that. Now, try this. Try doing it without looking down. Keep your eyes out sort of on the horizon and do a few more like that. So this is hip opening, of course. Boy, I am really losing my way here. You know what? We do need our block. We do need our block. That could be and should be on your chair. And now that leg that we were just moving, let's get that onto the chair seat. The foot is on the chair seat. That's kind of in the middle. Toes pointing in front. The back leg, the toe points out. So here, the way I'm holding my arms is the way your feet are. Let's put our elbow into that thigh. The other arm is going to wrap all the way around to try to touch that leg. Or in some way, you're going in that direction. So it really pulls that shoulder back and you can feel the opening through your clavicle. You can do some moving. You can just kind of come forward and back in that. Now come forward a little bit. So still feels very good with your knee, very comfortable, very accessible. And now let's take that back arm, because it's already done its work to pull us open through the clavicle. Let's slide that arm right past the ear. Put your mitten hand on up there. And you see if you can come deeper into it. So it's more bend in the knee, just a little bit more bend in the knee. Push your foot down, push it down. Take that top arm to kind of sweep you back and out of that. Great. And then let's leave that foot on the chair. The reason I had the block there is because I wanted you to have it in case that didn't work. See, I kind of not doing my best game here. Let's do it again. Let's use the block, put it inside your foot, not on the outside, but on the inside of that ankle. Slide that arm right past your ear. That deepens it, right? Full breath in and out. Now let that sweeping action help you come back up. And we're coming to face the chair. So the foot on the chair doesn't have to move much, but your other one does, because now we want all 10 toes facing in the same direction. And again, we're pulsing. Here's the action we're going to move into. Bent knee, straight leg, toes pop up. Bent knee, straight leg, toes pop up. So the heel stays planted. You could use your block. So you got a hand on the chair and a hand on the block. So both hands have some connecting point here, some more stability. Any amount of movement is going to be beneficial. So don't worry if it doesn't seem like much to you, because our leg is very high up. So you're very deep into your hip. Our hold is going to be on the straight leg. The straight leg posture is where we're holding. Toes are popped up. And see what you can do to get both hands on your chair seat. You're facing your leg. Make sure your neck is doing fine. Spread the toes of the foot that's up there on that chair. Deepen your breath. Good. Let's get the foot back down on the chair seat. Bring yourself up nice and easy. Hold on to the chair so you feel comfortable about getting both feet back to the floor, and we'll shake that out. Let's move to the other side of the chair. And we'll start this movement. It means you're going to start moving your foot around. I like to just sort of play with it. So I'm taking a big leap over the chair and moving around. You know, maybe you wrap behind you, maybe you don't. But we've got the chair, like this is our obstacle. We got to get high enough that we can do the whole, and then look out. I'm just staring at my chair. See if you can get your gaze out. Excellent. Now let's get that foot back on the chair. Now this is the one where toes point that way, but this side, the toes point out. So here's the direction of your feet. And actually your heels, it'd be nice if those heels were in alignment here, looking like that. So either starting here, just pulsing, but we want that back arm to come way around. So it almost, if you can get it to touch that leg, that's awesome. We're going to do this side just like we did the front side. Why not? So we'll start with that bent knee and our forearm on the thigh. And here's where we'll start lifting up. Put your mitten hand on, and you've got your arm past your ear. And then you play with how much more bend can you do. You're moving your pelvis a little bit so there's more bend of the knee. The foot that's on the floor, really important. Make sure you're pressing into that. Catch up with your breath. Take that top arm and swing yourself down. Keep that leg on the chair. Now we're going for the block. I have it on the side. It could be in any position that works for you. Palm or hand on the chair in some way. Still get your hand wrapped around back body. So you got that clavicle spread open. And then we're going to do it again. little bit different. I seem to always like a little bit of pulsing action. That's kind of what my body naturally looks for. Finish the breath you're on. Take a sweeping action to get that upper arm down. And now keep your foot on the chair so we can turn now. We got to adjust so the foot that's on the floor now is pointing in the same direction as the chair, as the one that's on the chair. So let's pulse that out a little bit. And then we're going to do that bend and straighten. So straighten the leg, toes pop up, and bend into the knee again. Straight leg, toes are up. This is where you could have your hand on the chair and one on the block. If you need that kind of support, you got it. It's right there. How about changing your gaze a little bit here? See if you can look away from the chair and still move. We're going to meet with that extension. So when the leg is straight and the toes are up, that's where we're going to wait. Hold it. Get maybe both hands on your chair so you're a little deeper as you draw your upper body toward your straight leg. Try spreading the toes of that foot that's up there. Deepen the breath. Good. Both feet, bring that foot back to the chair and then let's step it down so we've got both feet on the floor again and take a moment to shake that out and readjust. All right, I'm going to set up for downward facing dog. So I want to have the chair seat in front of me. Hands are coming there, starting stepping back, downward dog. The distance you have between your hands is the same distance you're putting between your feet. Feet are straight. Maybe you start by softening those knees and really pulling back through the buttocks. But eventually, once you start stretching out, warming up, you're going to start working on straightening those legs. Just any amount, a little bit straighter, a little bit more effort. Arms are glazed right past your ears. That's a great position. So your head, neck, and spine are in alignment. You can trust that your body weight is being held by those strong legs of yours. So you don't need to put a lot of effort into the hands on the chair in terms of supporting your body's weight. That's not happening. That's not what's holding you up. Deepen that breath. Pull your chin in towards your throat. And see if you can, just for a breath or two, find that bandha pathway that you're squeezing in toward the inner groin, pulling that squeeze up towards your belly button, all the way up to the chin pushing into the throat a little bit. So you pulled it all the way through the whole bandha pathway. Find that a few times, engaging that deep core strength. And then we're going to start walking toward the chair. Take your time. Bend your knees as you come up one vertebrae at a time. So keep your head low and see if you can move up slowly, like you're releasing one vertebrae of your spine at a time. And finally, you'll lift the head up. Beautiful. Let's take a wide stance here and just sweep our arms from side to side. So this requires you to be very buoyant with your knees. Let's get a little higher. So arms might have been flip-flopping around at your hips. Now come up so there's more shoulder height. And think of it, I've got palms facing down, like I'm just sort of gliding over some sort of surface here. Let's just hold it. Whatever side you find yourself, just hold that. Kind of go as far into that twist as you can. Keep breathing. And then sweep to the other side. Take your time and do the same thing over here. When we come back to center, palms come together up and overhead. Take a big breath. Exhale as you bow at your heart. Inhale up. And exhale, take that sweeping action down. Let's bring our feet together, legs together. So it's like a mermaid leg. We've got ourselves really joined together, which it makes a little bit of a challenge in terms of balance. So trust me I'm just trying to validate that. And so if you need to be near your chair while you're doing it, move so you've got that access. Here's where we're coming into a little squat. I'm just turning so you can see. We've done this a lot of times before. This is a movement through the knees and the ankles. Again, I'm borrowing from the Qigong tradition. So you're circling around. Change the direction. And meet in the squat. So your knees are bent. You're pulling your body weight back behind you. So the body weight is not being held by your knees. Can you extend your arms in front of you or bringing your hands to the prayer position at the heart? One of those. Give it a breath and then bring yourself up. Let's wait with our legs now in a more comfortable hips distance apart. Arms are up. Can you catch up with your breath with your arms in the air? And then we're going to find a rhythm. Again, it's a vinyasa. Inhale. You find the movement of what connects with your breath. You don't need to match with mine. You're finding your own. Palms come together. Look up. Inhale is here. Exhale is a bow at the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, sweep all the way around. Now, I'm not sure if I've taught you this or not. It's something I've been having a lot of fun with. Imagine you are standing in the center of the face of a clock. You've got the face of the clock on your floor. You're right in the middle of it. And so take one of your, I'm going to say my right leg, and you just do your leg. You don't have to match up with what you're seeing. And then just use, either have a chair where you have access to it, or use your arms to help you balance. And we're going to start by looking at the floor and pointing to 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock would be right in front of you. 6 o'clock, let's just go through that so we're all on the same page. 6 o'clock is behind you. 3 o'clock, you know where that would be. And 9 o'clock. So you've got your idea of where that clock, the face of the clock is. Okay, so let's get the right leg to point to the 12 o'clock position. And then to the 3 o'clock position. And to the 6. Now, could you find 1 o'clock? Could you find 7 o'clock? 5 o'clock, sorry, 5 o'clock. And then we'll go back to 12. And both the feet on the floor. Let's take it to the other side. All right, shift your weight. Point to 12 with the other foot. Point to 6. Now let's go to 9 o'clock with that left leg. And now we'll find 11 o'clock. And we're going to find 8 o'clock. And 12 o'clock. And 6 o'clock. And both feet to the floor. Whew, and shake that out. All right, let's move into those arms again, but nice and slow. This is where we're kind of unwinding. So we want this movement to be easy. We're familiar with it. I'm sort of bending my knees, so there's just lots of give here. And slow it way down. And find yourself in mountain pose. Deep breaths, full body breaths. Inhale through the full length of your body. Exhale the full length of your body. So you're really finding your way into a full body expression of this breath. Eyes closed if you can. If there's any movement your body is still craving, this is a perfect time to do that. So there's still something you're not trying to work out, go ahead and just do that now as we usher ourselves into Shavasana. So those of you who are accustomed to grabbing a second chair now to elevate their legs, this is a good time to do that. Get your second chair. Smoothing out the breath. So you've had a good start. When you come into the seated position, you've already got a good start on allowing your body to slow down. Good. So make your way to your seated position. Scoot back in the chair, of course. Definitely got to get a drink of water here. Close your eyes. As soon as you're comfortable, close your eyes so you can start to experience this inner, this whole process from the inside out, the quieting. I encourage you to try to find your way into your heart center, deep within your body, not where you touch it as you bring your hands to your chest bone, but deep within your body where that heart center resides. Breathe from that space. Use your imagination. Use your intention to breathe a heartfelt breath in and out, like that's where all the breathing happens in your body, both in and out, right there at the heart center. You can feel the expansion of that. You can feel the movement as you exhale. So it's a way of bringing ourselves into heart-mindedness. We're trying to give ourselves the pleasure, the intention of adjusting our point of view from the thinking mind, very useful, has its place, no doubt, and into the felt experience of the heart. And that's where our emotions lie. It's where kind of our higher self, the wisest, most well-behaved self resides. More compassionate, kind. It all comes from there. Notice the support of the chair. Be aware of that. You're allowing that to support you. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the 13th century poet Rumi, known most familiarly as Rumi, a Sufi mystic. And this is one of his probably most well-known poems. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. She may be clearing you out for some new delight. the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Start to notice your breath and identify that breath. Keep your eyes closed. So we're just gradually transitioning now. Maybe you're just noticing inhale and exhale. And you identify that for yourself. So bringing your mind and your body, your mind and heart back in harmony. So it's no longer just this focus of the heart energy, but we're bringing our mind back online, breathing in and out, breathing deep and slow. Inhale deep, exhale slow. And certainly notice now your body, how your body feels. Feel the calm and the ease. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. Let's take a big breath now, in through the nose and out through the mouth with a big sigh. So we're transitioning now. Use that cleansing breath. Make the sound. Ah. And let's get the eyes open. Good. Join me now as we sync up our breath. Inhale, palms will be together overhead. Exhale, we bow at our heart. Inhale up. Exhale, we're going to offer the blessing to our community, this beautiful energy of yoga. We're going to share that as a blessing to our community. Hands come to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me.